Hello everyone and welcome to this video. This is going to be all about sacred sex, sacred sexuality, coming together with a twin in sacred sexual union, which is so important during the Ascension cycle. When we come together in divine sacred sexual union with a twin, we are combining our DNA templates, we're merging, we're activating, we're collapsing timelines, we're burning off karma. And this is an amazing force of transformation for the twins. And we're really coming together to do that. And a lot of twins have been blocked from this. And especially sacred sex and sacred sexuality in general has been highly distorted on this planet. And so right now we're really coming back to sacred sex and honoring our body, coming back to sacred sexuality and understanding what sexual union really means, because sexual union is the combination, it's the merging of masculine and feminine. It's the masculine and feminine coming back into sacred union. And this is really the representation of sacred sex. This is the union of masculine and feminine. And so this is coming back now on this planet. And for twins, it's very important to come together in sacred sex, to combine your DNA templates, to create that activation for each other. Then this is what really then activates the Kundalini energy. And really, this is an acceleration for your ascension. This is also very important for, the divine masculine to help them in their process of acceleration on their path, or to help them collapse old timelines or old karma. And so sacred sexuality has been highly distorted on this planet for a lot of reasons. And a lot of people have been trapped in the lower chakras, in the root chakra. We have been really trapped in lust energy, and especially for the divine masculines. And I talked about that in some of my other videos. But what I want to share in this video specifically is that sacred sexuality is very important for twin flames. And so this sexual union with your twin is very important for your own ascension. And so a lot of divine feminines are feeling blocked from that, and that's a lot of the coaching that I've been doing also recently. And this is all about really understanding that so you and your twin come together through sacred sexuality to exchange codes and to merge the DNA templates. And this is a very important part of the process of the twin flame process, the twin flame journey. So when you and your twin combine your energies, you come together back into that sacred union. You then are merging your codes. You are then really releasing anything that's distorted between you and your twin. So that energetic template gets really refined and activated. So sacred sex is very, very powerful with your twin. And that's something that, a lot of us are being blocked from because of the alien attacks, because we have third parties that are causing the separation. And this is something that, has been shown to me is happening, and something that is actually part of the dark agenda to block the sacred sexual union between twins, because they know how powerful the sacred sex is between twins. And so we're ascending now, really out of these lower chakras into the heart. So we're really accessing more of the heart frequency. We're accessing divine love frequencies. We're accessing the frequency of divine love when we're actually coming together with our twin. So it's a higher vibration. It's not a lust-based energy, which is what a lot of us have been trapped in, or especially the divine masculines, they have been trapped in these sexual misery programs. And so we're really coming out of that. We're really healing all of that. And that's also part of their activation through coming together with the divine feminine in sacred sexual union. They're really coming out of these lower energies of the lower chakras, because once the divine feminine has really activated into that higher embodiment, she's then able to activate the divine masculine and really help them shift out of these lower vibrations and energies through the sacred sex act. And it's also important to understand that a lot of these codes and the templates can be exchanged through the astral, but it's more powerful to come together in the physical and to exchange codes and through sacred sexuality. So a lot of twins, we can merge codes through the astral, and that's something that's happening. But you and your twin coming together in sacred divine union through the physical act is also very, very important, and it's actually very much more powerful. So we are correcting right now a lot of the distorted codes in the DNA so that the DNA templates can merge. So a lot of these distorted codes that are inorganic, that are part of maybe the karmic template that cause these polarization between twins. So Ascension right now, what's happening through the Ascension process is that we're really removing all these distorted codes or inorganic codes between twins so that twins can merge back into one frequency and into that one energetic template. And so a lot of the attraction and magnetism is also part of that, really having the same DNA codes. And that's also what's realigning as well, because dissonance in frequency is the distortion in the codes, and this is causing duality and polarization. So as we're really going through this journey where our codes are going to be matching with our twin. And this is very, very, very important as well, because this is causing more attraction, more magnetism, and more love and the expansion of the whole union. Because when we start the journey, we may have these codes that aren't matching, because love is based on DNA template, and so love and attraction has everything to do with the DNA template. The closer you are in resonance signature with someone, the more love, the more attraction, the more passion you share between you. So we're really removing all these codes that are not matching between twins so that sacred sex can be even more powerful, so that the love grows, the passion grows. And this is really what we're experiencing right now also through the Ascension. We're really matching the DNA templates, we're merging the DNA templates, we're merging back as one. And the love expands, the passion expands. And that's really how twins are coming back into divine sacred union, is their codes are starting to match more, because they're releasing all of this, inorganic templating, the 3D templating, and you're really fusing the DNA template. So it's going to be even more of an attraction, more love is going to become between you as well when we are talking about attraction, magnetism, and love as well. I talk a lot about this also in my sacred sex workshop that I have available also on my website. It talks more about this and goes deeper into how this works. If you are interested, I will leave the link in the description as well. And this is really important to understand right now, that we're coming back to sacred sexuality. This is all being restored right now because we've been trapped in these lower energies. And right now with the 5D, this is all about merging masculine and feminine. It's all about coming back to sacred sexuality. And this is very activating for both twins. So if you'd like to learn more about sacred sexuality, sacred sex, a lot more detail about it, I do have my workshop, my sacred sex workshop, that's available on my website. It talks more about this in more details, because it is very important right now to understand this concept and to understand how we're coming back to sacred sexuality and what that actually means through the chakra system, and how this is connected to a twin specifically. And I have lots of videos also on my community page and here about the sacred sex specifically, and all of that. So there's more as well if you want to check that out, if you want more information about that, because right now it's a very powerful time for all of this to be restored, and to understand that sacred sex is part of the journey, is part of the twin flame journey. It's part of us coming together in divine union with our twin. And this has also been highly targeted, and because of the separation energies, because of third parties, because of the masculine and feminine being separated, we aren't actually coming together in this divine way and expressing the love in the physical, which is very important. And so I want to share this as well, because right now it's something that is coming up a lot, and through my coaching and just my own guidance about this is that divine feminines, they really open themselves up to the sacred sex, because that is something that is part of this process, part of this journey. And it's important that we stay open to that and not block that out, not block the love out, and we stay open to the love, we stay open to the union, and we stay in that unconditional love, because this is a spiritual mission. This is not a romance. This is a powerful spiritual mission of combining forces of masculine and feminine, merging back as one, being one team, and you being in that unity consciousness rather than in the separation consciousness with your, between you and your masculine. You are one team, you're one consciousness, you are working as one. And even though it doesn't seem like that maybe in a 3D, because a lot of the times the masculines are manipulated and they're, highly targeted and attacked. And they are, manipulated to stay away from the feminine, or there's a separation factor there. So we need to stay open to the sacred sex. We need to stay open to the fact that we are one consciousness and that we need each other in this ascension cycle. That we are a co-team. We're not against each other, because that's separation consciousness. And we need to come back to unity consciousness, staying in the frequency of unconditional love and in the unity consciousness frequency. Because the separation is when you're constantly blaming your masculine, you're constantly saying that, they need to be doing this, they need to be doing that. That's not love, that's not unconditional love, that's separation. And we need to come out of that as well and really stay in unity consciousness and understanding this is a powerful spiritual mission, and that you are a co-team rather than being against each other. And so this is another message that's coming through a lot, and in my coaching as well, that has really shifted a lot of divine feminines back into their heart, back into unity, back into the journey, and back into the truth of this path. So I want to leave it at that. If you do want more help on this journey, my private community is there, my Patreon community. I also, like I said, have my Sacred Sex workshop for more on this, and my private coaching as well is available as well. I have my Inner Union course, which is a very powerful course for everyone on this path. I will link this in the description. And I send you so much love for this journey, for this path, and I will connect with you in the next video.